She is the dog-friendly expert. She's an award-winning animal advocate and also a speaker and an author.
Maybe we could do that. Maybe we could make a difference. That's what I found through my research. I did 600 interviews all over the United States. And I didn't just talk to dog people. I talked with people in economic development and travel and tourism and public safety and transportation, and all of those things that really are cogs in the wheel of making a community much more vibrant and attracting people to want to be there. Intercept interviews at dog parks and, all the way down to the user base, all the way up to, legislative bodies. What do dogs think that the world could be? Like, this is amazing when they go to a Pups on Patio event for the first time and they've been acclimated to that. And so they're ready to go in and have a comfortable experience. That feeling that they have about the excitement about the world, that's what we need to instill in people.
We need a system that actually designs systems for dogs who come from a dog's perspective.
Yes.
Who actually sits down and observes what dogs do.
Dogs that grow up in a dog-friendly community, they understand how to interact with people. People understand how to interact with the dogs. And when they start to have a relationship like that, then they start to prioritize things like, can I take my dog here? Because we're starting to see in the real estate industry that the number one question is no longer, how are the schools? The number one question in many parts of the country is, where can I take my dog? I started a nonprofit that could help communities go responsibly and authentically from we want to be dog friendly to we are dog friendly. Dog friendly needs to mean that if you have a dog, that's great, and we have ways to celebrate that. We have ways to care for your dog in different ways. But if you don't have a dog, it's not like you're a second-class citizen, right? We have to recognize that we all have different things that we love, all have different things that we're into. I wanted to take what's possible through a dog's eyes, to your point, Roman, and educate people about what's possible. That we need to say, dog play, what does that mean? It no longer should mean an acre with a square of fencing. Maybe it is, but couldn't we do so much better? And so that was sort of the root of Wagtown. How do we take it in piece by piece and make that difference? So what we're trying to do is develop communities so you can more consistently be pleasantly surprised when you move. Our disappointment about the existing situation with many dog parks is that we have to remember that we came from, I'm 54, so when I was a kid, our dog was chained to the deck leg. And, that was how you cared for a dog back then. And I've had invisible fence with my dog in the past, and I've used a prong collar in the, and so there are all these things that you kind of grow up, morphing into. And so we need to remember that the entire country, in different levels, viewed dogs in such a different way. What we see now, which is people have gone from I own a dog to my dog is family to my dog is my child to my dog is my soulmate. Well, think about it. Would you create an experience like that for your child?
Right.
Would you? But we wouldn't. But they weren't our child then. You know what I mean? They were, but they weren't. We didn't see them that way. This is the perfect time. More people are getting dogs. More people are traveling with their dogs. More people know, because of that travel, what's possible. When you know what's possible, then you can throw out what you thought you knew. Keep the good stuff, but be open to the idea that maybe you should take a look at this in a little different ways, but look at it through the health department's eyes, through law enforcement, veterinarians, public service, all the people that are taking care of public works. You've got the restaurant industry, you've got health and human services for public health, in addition to things for like schools and playgrounds and things like that. So all of those people, including legislators and community leadership and grassroots groups, that's who makes the dog park. But we're still sticking the dog park way in the back, away from everything. And when you have that where they're building it like on the outskirts of town, then you still have equity issues, because there are people who don't have transportation or maybe the money to get there. And a lot of times those people are the exact ones that really need that open space play. And that Smart Dog Park professional certification program lets you know that they considered safety, manners, awareness, responsibility, and training the whole time that they were creating the experience. So everything that's in there is held to that standard. That's going to help you focus on the user experience and the ability to successfully maintain it, to sustain it financially, and from a maintenance perspective and equipment. It's a very big project, and I think people don't appreciate the value of the experience to the dog owners, and they also don't, on the other side, appreciate what it takes to maintain a park. Because it's one of those things, we all want it, right? It's like having a dog. We all want one, but we're not sure who wants to take care of it.
Yeah, you were listed in the top 10, the top trends.
To have the National Organization for Parks and Rec reach out and say, hey, we like what you're doing. Can we talk about it? And then it shows up as, this top trend for 2022 for, our recreation options. So that was a nice nod. In fact, on there, he said that we really need to start thinking, if we're going to do this right, as dogs, as taxpayers, and act accordingly. We could all make a difference if we would stop saying we can't do this, we can't do that.
Exactly.
And we said, let's find
Amen.
a solution. Let's find a solution. Because the dogs know how to behave in that environment. The people know how to read dog body language. They understand how to get in the way of a couple of dogs. So it really changed my mind about the do's and the don'ts, to be not saying you absolutely should never do this in a dog park. It really needs to be, let me take a look at your dogs.
Yeah,
Let me take a look at your people. Let me look at how you support them. Let me take a look at your economics. Let me take a look at your education system. Like, how are we talking to children about dogs? The human-animal bond is undeniable, and it drives so much of our thinking, our decision-making, and what we value. And I don't understand why we would not take this opportunity, because now it's so clear what they offer with so much research available now.
Yeah, right.
And say, let's apply that to how we live our lives with our dogs. Part of SMART involves 10-minute videos that you can kind of go at your own pace. And there are leave behind materials. We have guide sheets for you doing your budget and figuring out your maintenance and your scheduling, the nitty gritty. There are ways to communicate with the public and do charrettes and do public meetings and all of those things. There are ways that you can integrate technology with QR scans for video training. If they both are working with at least a blueprint of how to find land that is safe for the dogs, that doesn't have some sort of EPA issue, doesn't have chemicals in the soil that people weren't aware of, that it's not going to have erosion problems. Is it going to be safe for their feet? Is it too hot for the substrate? Can you shut down the park at certain times to give it a chance to, refurb itself? I mean, there are so many different things, and that's just picking the piece of dirt you're going to put it on, right? So yeah, I think there are different ways we can do it, but I needed to be able to can it in a way that's usable, expandable, flexible for different kinds of use, in a way that makes people feel more comfortable. You understand better how to staff it, how to maintain it, how to entertain people, everything gets so much better when you plan in advance and you incorporate everyone's opinion. You don't always do what everybody wants, but at least you've heard the need and the concerns, and the opportunities are there. So yeah, it's pretty exciting when you get into it.